Hello, and welcome to episode 47 of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruhal, and with me as always is my co-host, Benjamin. Those who died will be given a remedial class shabbing.
Okay, that's what took you 20 minutes to find?
Yeah, I could not Google that. Because I didn't know the exact wording, so I couldn't start the quote. Okay. And I Googled the character and quotes. Nothing came up that was close to that. I just turned on an episode and went to a part where I know somebody died. To get it. If the quote didn't give it away.
Because I really gave it away.
This week we took a viewer suggestion, listener suggestion, I guess I would say. Mm-hmm. And we watched Baka and Test, which, if I can find it here, we would like to thank Mega Lazy Guy on Twitter for suggesting this. I think he also suggested it on YouTube, and then I told him to, or he asked if we take suggestions on YouTube, and I told him to tweet it at us. Yeah. Guess I'll see that more often than I'll see a YouTube comment. So thank you, Mega Lazy Guy. We are covering it. I hope we do one of your favorite shows justice, or at least I'm assuming it's one of your favorite shows if you're suggesting it.
What if it feels like all a ruse? He's just like, I'm gonna make this bad anime.
Well, do you want to get straight to ratings on it?
I guess.
Okay, what would you give this anime?
It's like a 6, maybe 7.
It's a gentleman's 6.
It's fun, but not very good.
It's fun. There are parts that are tiring. It's got some really bad takes, some dated takes on some things.
I think it was 2011.
Oh, was that new? I would have said like 2006 or 2007. Maybe that's when the novels came out or something. Who knows? But no, I mean, I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it.
I had fun.
I want to see season 2. But yeah, I'd give it a 6 or a 7 at the very most. The best parts I think are a 7, and then the worst parts are like a 5 or a 4. So
2010 was the first season.
Okay, I mean, like, that's the
kind of
same. That's
sense.
Like, I think the visual novel of Steins Gate came out in 2010, and the anime came out in 2011. But still, no, I mean, like, the premise of this show is that the characters go to this school where teachers can make like a hologram world where they can summon computer avatars
of themselves.
Yeah, that have strengths based off of their
test scores.
Yeah, the most recent test scores. And sometimes you can fight people for those.
Well, they're also, all the students are assigned based on their scores. So like the highest are in class A and the lowest are in class F.
Yeah. Based off of their
test scores.
Yeah, their placement scores.
Yes.
It's like you don't fluctuate. Once you're in that class, you're in that class.
Yeah.
But you can declare war on another class, and if you win, you can switch. Yeah, you can switch supplies with them, and all the higher classes by default have super nice supplies.
Yes. And
our heroes down in class F have got increasingly shitty supplies.
Most of the time they have cardboard boxes.
Yeah. But they start out with just like little wooden tables that keep breaking. That they have to keep hot gluing back together. And but no, we've got, I mean, I think the best way of talking about this is to talk about characters, because there are a lot of them. And a lot of it's just like, the characters get up to hijinks.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have some wars, and then there's a big break where there are no wars, because they go right into the wars.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I guess no more wars for like 7 episodes.
That was my biggest issue, I think, with this show. Is like episodes 1 through
3-ish,
2 to 3 are all they have like wars in it. They're like, okay, this is kind of fun. Then they just stop having them till like episode 10. It's just like, what happened?
Yeah.
Which I know what would happen is they can't declare war for 3 months. You can't just wait 3 months.
Yeah, you can't just skip the story along 3 months.
Yeah.
I can talk about that in a little. Well, I guess let's just get into it now. I guess I liked it in theory, but not in execution.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the theory of it is, okay, we're going to start you off with some war so that you can kind of get a feeling of where this is going, what you're going to be, what you're going to be dealing with.
Uh-huh.
It's like, or what the, the fun actiony
like
parts
how
of the
it works
show
out
are.
as well. It's like, this is how these go.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, but we're going to take a break from that so that you can really get to know these characters well. Because I don't think I would have cared about this show if it was just wars,
I guess,
for 13 episodes. Because, like, those are very, like, quick.
I get you, but when most of your characters are just kind of stupid, it's just like, all right.
It's
I
just
get it. Yoshi's an idiot.
Yeah.
Can we get on with this?
But no, yeah, it just takes time for you to be like, okay, well, now we can get to know the characters better. We can kind of develop them a little bit. Mm-hmm. We can see different sides of them. And instead of like that, we get some good episodes, some good characters, and other characters are just like, whatever. And we'll go into those characters. So we got our main character, Akihisa Yoshi, mm-hmm. who is the dumbest of the dumb in Class F.
A probationary student.
Yeah. So he has a special power for his avatar in that he can interact with physical objects because he needs to use it to like help the teachers move supplies and stuff. Are you distracted by the beeping outside?
Yeah. I just wonder if it would catch on the mic or not. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Stop now though. Go on.
Yeah, so that's his special power though. It only sometimes comes in handy. A lot of times it doesn't.
It's like once.
Yeah. Like twice.
I guess.
But I guess the avatars also have like super strength. So when because like that avatar can lift more than he can, sort of thing.
Also, he feels whatever pain his avatar has.
For whatever reason. Which I think also maybe his avatar feels pain too. Its avatars don't really feel pain, but they have what are you gonna call it? We mentioned that their strength is based off of their test score. It's not just their strength; it's also like their life points, sort of. Yeah. So if their life points get reduced to 0, then the avatar dies, yes. And that's when our boy or man. Soichi Nishimura, the remedial class teacher,
also known as Iron Man,
will just show up and yell out, "Those who died will be given a remedial class," and then takes them away so that they can learn from
everywhere.
He will show up no matter what. Yeah, it's great. I like that character.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, it's just you think it would get tiresome, and it does, and then it comes right back. It's like, oh yeah, this is funny again because this is preposterous. Mm-hmm. But like, so I think maybe if he feels pain in real life, his avatar will lose points or something. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that
remember
happened.
Seeing that happen. I might be wrong though.
But yeah, so he's got that special power, but his scores are so low, especially at the beginning. They get a little bit higher, but that hurts his character some. We'll get into that, I guess. But we've got the next character I have written down. Oh, and we each wrote down who we thought were the important characters. So there may be, and we have a lot of characters written down.
19.
I have 20, just so that we would for sure have different ones.
So I had Yoshi.
Yeah, so you had Yoshi. So we'll check them off. The next one I have written down is Yuji Sakamoto.
Okay. Who
is Class 2F's class rep. He's also really dumb. Though that might be a front. he might be dumb in that he's not putting in any effort. And then, so like, I don't think he's purposely failing tests. I think he's purposely not studying and therefore remaining ignorant to answers and stuff.
My theory was that he did that on purpose just because he wanted to be in class F. Because he kept saying towards the end, it's just like, I wanted to show him that academics weren't everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite possible that he has been intentionally getting low test scores, but I think he's been intentionally genuinely getting low test scores instead of putting the wrong answers. I think he's keeping himself ignorant and then getting I think that's what's happening. I think he's like intentionally not learning things so that he can have bad test scores instead of intentionally putting wrong answers. If that makes sense.
He's just not trying to learn.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then as soon as he applies himself, he's like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Now that I have read this book on history, I can answer these history questions or whatever. So I would say he's like Yoshi's best friend.
Best friend.
Yeah. He keeps like tricking Yoshi. It's another good bit he has where like it'll go like black and white and it'll be dramatic, him like saying something dramatic, and Yoshi will believe him and it'll just be like, oh no, I was totally lying to you there.
Most of the time it's like, go declare war on that class. Like, no, they're gonna beat me up.
It's like, no, they won't. This is a different circumstance altogether. He keeps falling for it. I want to go back to Akihisa for just a second here.
Okay.
He lives alone at the start of this anime, and a reoccurring bit with him is that he wants to spend all his money on things other than food.
No, it's not that he wants to. It's that he did. Now he doesn't have any money for food.
Well, he like spends money on pictures and stuff, and it's just like, that could have gone towards food.
Times.
Yeah, but for the most part, yeah, he spent most of his money.
The first couple episodes, like he kind of gets tricked into like taking two of his classmates to like the movies and like for crepes.
Yeah,
just like, well, now I have no money for food, so I'll just drink salt water and sugar water and vegetable oil.
It's like, I'll just eat 1 cup of ramen every day, and he's like, I guess I'll eat half a cup for breakfast and half a cup for dinner. And then he's like, wait a minute. If I keep cutting it in half and leaving half of it, I'll always have some left. And it's like, that is correct. That is Zeno's paradox he's stumbled on here. Mm-hmm. But eventually it'll be so small that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because you won't get anything from it. But then, yeah, at that point, it's just like, yes, I'm getting my calorie intake from salt water or sugar water.
It's like salt water for dinner and sugar water for lunch or something.
I don't know. But he is...
You try to eat a piece of bread off the ground.
Yeah, he tried to eat a piece of bread off the ground. And then somebody stepped on it. He's like, I guess I can't get it anymore.
Eat around it.
Okay, we go back to Yuji Sakamoto here. But yeah, so he's the strategist for when they're in the wars, and he comes up with winning strategies.
Yeah. He's smart, but also dumb.
Yes. He is savvy.
Also, he looks exactly like Lancer with Shiro's hair color.
I guess, yeah. I would say Lancer is taller and more buff, but okay. He's got the same face structure as Lancer. Yes. And by Lancer, I'm assuming you're meaning Kukulane?
Yes.
Okay.
Not Diarmuid.
Yeah, not Diarmuid. Yuji... Well, they declared war on Class 2E. Because they had a secret weapon, who is the next character, not the next character, but one of the characters I have on my list here, Mizuki Himeji.
Correct.
Who should have gone to Class A, but she like collapsed during the placement exams and had to leave, and so therefore got a 0 for...
the placement test.
Yeah, got a 0 because she could not finish the exam. So she was in Class 2F, even though she should be in Class 2A. And then once a war starts, you are able to take what are called recovery tests to kind of, as your score gets decreased in the battles, you can go in and take a recovery test and get them back up. And so her score quickly goes from 0 to like 500 something. Because there's an infinite number of questions, but there's a time limit as to how many you can answer. Mm-hmm. So like her score goes way up, and they're able to beat 2E because they did not know that she was in that class. Meanwhile, Akihisa's job, our main character's job, was just like to buy time for a couple of seconds. And he thought it really did all right on him because of a speech given by Yuji. But then Class A is immediately declaring war on them after that. Because I guess they've got a few beefs to work out. They decide that instead of a regular war, it's going to be a 5v5 duel.
Yes.
The two of our Akihisa loses immediately.
Yeah.
The
math girl loses.
The best girl.
Yeah.
My best friend. Minami Shimada. Who I have dibs on. It's the only dibs I have. Mm-hmm. I've called dibs on other characters, and with our dibs rules, we're like, it's kind of weird when they're in high school, but there will be some exceptions. She shines through. Okay. I think it's worth it. I'll get into that in a bit. But her best subject is math. She's only in class 2F because she doesn't know like Japanese. Yeah. Because she lived abroad or whatever most of her life.
Yep. I think it was Germany, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she is like, my math skills are top notch, and they challenge them in math, and it's like, I'm at least the level of a class B student. And it's like, okay, yeah, but I'm the level of a class A student. And then she loses. So that's 2 rounds lost. The next round is Mizuki Himeji versus. I have his name here.
Is it underappreciated classes kid?
Yes. His last name is, or either his first or his last name is Kubo. I'm just trying to find him on my list.
Toshimitsu
Kubo. And they go for, like, instead of a general subject, they go for overall placement. Yeah. And then he's like, I'm the second highest in the school. Only the class rep of Class A is better than me. And then we learn that after she's taken all the recovery tests, Mizuki Himeji is equal to the number 1 student. So he loses. So we've got 1 win for our boys and girls in Class F. Then we've got a character who I wrote down belongs in jail. Which is, let me find it here. Koto, his real name is Koto Tsuchiya, but they call him Mutsolini. Yeah, Mutsolini. Mutsolini or something like that. Who is a pervert.
Yes.
And is always trying to take pictures of underwear and such.
Yes.
And again, he's a bad character.
Yeah.
Well, there are times when he's fun, but for the most part, his shtick is dated and is like, this is rough, bud.
Yeah, this is just gross. Come on. Get a hold of yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go online.
There are healthy ways of dealing with your perversion there, instead of trying to take pictures of girls' panties.
One thing that's kind of funny though is like every time he has the shot, he just like faints or like nosebleeds so much that he just doesn't get it. It's like
it's like at least he's not getting them.
Yeah.
But he is super high score in the health portion of health and physical education because of his perversions. So he's able to secure a victory.
Yep.
And then Yuji has to go up against the number 1 person in Class A, Shoko Kirishima. And they're, instead of picking a specific subject that their avatars would fight in, they instead each have to take the same test.
Yes.
And he's like, grade school level Japanese history test. Because he's like, I know this girl. She never forgets anything that she's learned. But she learned the wrong thing.
Yes.
So if this question is on this test, she will get a question wrong. And it should be simple enough that I won't get any questions wrong. Sure enough, that question's on the test. And
she gets a 93%?
She gets a 97%.
Oh, 97.
Something like that. Okay. But they're like, we did it! She got the question wrong. And he got like a 53%. It's like, oh, come on, man. So they are banned from declaring war for 3 months, which we've talked about.
Which is what happens when you lose.
Yeah. When you lose a war, you're banned from declaring war.
What also happens?
Well, the whole fact that they did it as a duel instead of a regular war was because they decided that they would the loser would have to grant the loser's request. Or the loser would have to grant the winner's request.
Yes.
And the Class A rep that I just mentioned, Shoko Kirishima, tells Yuji, okay, well, you have to go out with me now. Because I guess they've known each other for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And she is very possessive of him. To the point that she also probably belongs in jail.
Probably.
She keeps tasing him and knocking him unconscious and poking him in the eyes anytime that there's another girl remotely being cute around him. Yeah, I will allow it. Don't get me wrong. It plays off. It's better than some of the other characters that belong in jail, but it is pretty fucked up.
Should we do like this wasn't a
cartoon? It's a jail count of 2 right now. There will probably be at least one more.
Who's the other one?
We'll get to her.
Okay.
Actually 4. We'll get to them. But that was really a long-winded for me to talk about Shoko Kirishima as a character. Because we basically touched upon her. She's very smart. She's very quiet. But her other characteristic is that she loves Yuiji and is super possessive of him.
Yes.
So I know we touched upon a bunch of characters there.
No, before that, she makes him watch Apocalypse Now Redux twice.
Yeah.
Just like,
so that she spends as much time with him as possible. Yeah.
And War and Peace twice. It's like a 7-hour movie.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a real movie.
I think it is.
It's a 7-hour.
I don't know if it's 7 hours, but
yeah. So there's some characters on there that I want to go back to and touch on, as we mentioned, because again, that was really just me wanting to talk about the other part of Yuji that we haven't touched upon, which is his relationship with Shoko, and then, by extension, also talking about Shoko. Mm-hmm. So I want to go back to. We can just get straight into this best girl segment right now.
Okay.
Do you have anybody to go up against Minami Shimada?
No, she's the best.
Okay.
I have like one honorable mention, and that's Shoko, but that's it. I like Shoko.
Okay. Okay. That's a fair honorable mention.
But no, Shimada's number 1.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I wrote down here, look, if you give me a strong redhead tsundere who's not that afraid of showing her dere side, like she's not all soon.
Uh-huh.
She's got that dere side that lets out quite a bit. I'm gonna gravitate towards that character. It's happened before. It happened in Rail Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
what
Ava.
What can we say? You got a taste.
Yeah. I mean, she's. I feel like she's very much a ripoff of Asuka from Ava, because she's a redheaded tsundere from Germany.
I don't know. I think Asuka's got a couple more issues. Has a little bit more issues than her.
Yes, most certainly Asuka is a much more well-rounded character, and therefore not as appealing to me. But what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is that Asuka is a better realized character. I don't know why I said well-rounded. Well-rounded wasn't the right word.
Okay.
And that fact is more like, okay, this feels more like a real person, and therefore, like, it's. I'm not trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is Minami Shimada is more appealing because she doesn't have as many downsides as Asuka. But those downsides of Asuka are what make her
a better character.
Gotcha. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So if we're just talking like Johnny's a monkey, he likes characters, he would go, or he likes certain tropes, he would go Minami Shimada. Gotcha. If he's talking who's a better character, it's Asuka by miles. Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't hurt that Minami is also good at math, which is something I have a degree in mathematics, so that appeals to me as well. Mm-hmm. There's a few things about her that detract. One, she's got some bad takes on how lesbians work.
Yeah.
It's fine to be... we'll talk about this character now. This is Jail Count 3. Miharu Shimizu belongs in jail.
Yes. Who's that first one? We have Mussolini.
And I'm saying Shoko.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Okay. Now, Miharu Shimizu...
That's more like probation, I would say.
Look, she's got to get out of jail free. She's got to get out of jail free card on that.
It's just more restraining order, not necessarily jail time.
Yeah. So Miharu Shimizu is in love with Minami Shimada because, of course, she is.
Yeah, who isn't?
But she is like way too not getting the point that Minami is not into her or girls in general. Yes. Now, the part that, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's not my problem with Minami Shimada. I don't know why I keep saying her full name, because I don't know what the characters, what she's typically called in the show. But her whole counter argument is, normal girls are into boys. And it's like, that's a bad take.
I'm a normal girl. I like boys.
Being a lesbian that doesn't mean you're not a normal girl.
Yeah.
Then sexual preference has nothing to do with normality.
Correct.
But that being said, Miharu Shimizu it's not okay to molest people. Correct. It's okay to be a lesbian. It's not okay to force yourself on somebody who's clearly not interested.
Correct.
And then the other downside to Minami Shimada is that she is physically abusive to Akihisa Yoshi, which is it's played for humor and that it's legitimate wrestling moves, which I think lightens the load, mm-hmm. but it's still a trope that we should really get away from more. I don't want to condone physical abuse. This one again, it's very overplayed with the wrestling moves, mm-hmm. and so therefore it definitely lightens the load a bit. Yeah. But those are the two detractors. That's one of the bad takes we talked about at the top. Is that's a bad take with how lesbians work.
What is that one move? It's if she put me in that one move, I don't think I'd complain. I want to say it's not the Hangman. It's something else.
I don't know wrestling moves, but
it's basically where
she's stretching out his back.
I guess I can draw it real quick.
Ben, this is an audio medium.
This is it's your legs are here. These are your arms, and she's got a mall pinned right here. So she's like that too, basically underneath you. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
Okay,
she's bending him.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess the next character...
Oh, no. I just wasted a page.
That's fine. You can make notes around that. The next character I had to talk about is our other love interest for... Oh, we should say that she has a super big crush on Akihisa Yoshi.
Yeah, super big.
The other person who has a very big and obvious to us crush on Akihisa Yoshi is the previously mentioned super smart girl, Mizuki Himeji, which Yoshi misunderstands and thinks that she has a crush on Yuji instead. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, half her personality is that
she has a crush. Yeah, that's the issue with her. It's just there's not much to her. She's smart and she likes Yoshi. Yeah. That's it.
And she's nice, I guess.
Yeah, she's nice.
But, I guess there's also, things where she can't... She's oblivious to things that are, very clearly wrong.
She's really bad at cooking.
Yeah. Oblivious, or intentionally oblivious to things when we get to another character.
Okay.
to an almost yandere level of I mean, I'll just get right to it. At about halfway through the show, Yoshi's sister comes home from Harvard.
Oh, okay.
And they go over to his house.
They never said Harvard.
They did.
They asked, "Did you go to Harvard?" And he's like, "Forget it."
Yeah, she doesn't. They don't confirm it, but that's
there's other colleges
university in Boston.
There's Boston U.
But like they go to his house, and she's got like underwear hanging from the front door and a makeup pad, and it's just like, oh, that's weird. That's no good, Yoshi. That bra won't fit you. Like, just not.
Why do you have that bra?
Not acknowledging that there is a woman's bra and a woman's makeup. It's like, that's not a makeup pad. That's a fish cake.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what it was where she finally cracked. It was something about.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
If there was one thing that was nowhere near as bad as that, she's like, it is true. There is a girl here. But those points were like, she's just very much like possessive of him in an almost Shoko level. But, and I don't know. My problem with her is that she's definitely set up as somebody that Akihisa Yoshi has a crush on, sort of. And so it's like, but no, stay with Minami Shimada. Like,
it's that issue where it's just like, you're just the regular person who just likes the main character and that's it. You have nothing else. Or you have this other character
who's quirkier and funner to be around. And it's like, is more, it's a little more open with her feelings, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and Minami gets plenty of like chances to like advance things and does. So they're almost on like equal footing at this point. But it's just me being like, they're gonna pair these two together, and Minami's gonna be heartbroken, and it's gonna make me feel bad. So like, whatever. I have the note I had for her is, it's that one bitch. Because she makes me mad when I think about it. Let's see.
What else you got?
Okay. I've got I'm checking off Mizuki Himichi. I've got a next runner-up who's disqualified for, I guess technically disqualified for Best Girl, is Hideyoshi Kinoshita.
Yes.
Technically a guy.
It's a dude.
Yeah.
It's the Ruka principle.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Ruka wants to be a girl, so I feel better about that. Whereas Hideyoshi very clearly does not want to be thought of as a girl, but keeps doing things like wearing a female nurse's outfit, thinking that it was a male nurse's outfit because people just assume that it's that he's a girl, so they give her give him the wrong costumes because he's in the drama club or whatever, and it's just like, how are you? This is how you show you're dumb and that you belong in class F, is that you're like, oh wait, this is not how men dress, like, so like,
also just like Yoshi has like a huge crush on him, or just like finds him attractive, never acknowledges that he's a dude.
Yeah,
you're like,
he keeps to the bit of being like, you're clearly a girl.
It's just like, I don't like that. Stop.
Yeah. So, I have to disqualify Hideyoshi Kinoshita because they do not want to be classified as a boy. But
a dude can be best girl though.
Yes, a dude can be best girl, obviously. Now, I might as well go ahead and mention Hideyoshi's twin sister, who causes Yoshi confusion at first, and thinking that they're the same person. And that is because they look similar, other than one of them has a flat chest and one of them doesn't. And that is Yuko Kinoshita. And she got all the brains in the twin, in the womb there, I guess, because she's in Class A and she's like second in command. She's or something. Leader. Technically, Shoko is the class rep, but really the driving force behind Class A is Yuko Kinoshita.
I think Wikipedia calls her the ambassador.
Okay, maybe that.
So maybe she leads it.
Well, she's the one who declared war on Class 2F at first there. So she's very much basically doing what the class rep should be doing. But so I guess putting her as second in command or lieutenant or whatever. She's not number 2 highest grades because we mentioned that was Kubo, but we'll get to Kubo in a moment. She's a little mean, which is fine with me. I don't really have anything else to say about Yuko Kinoshita. We've got next time. We've already talked about this character a little bit. Mussolini or Koto Tsuchiya. Yeah. He's got a camera and he sells pictures of girls to people and pictures of Hideyoshi to people. And maybe pictures of Yoshi when he had to wear a dress to... I think he sold those to both Minami and Mizuki. They both have those sets of pictures. He's always bleeding from the nose, and he's a pervert, and he belongs in jail.
He should be dead with the amount of blood he loses.
Gosh, yeah, he loses a lot of blood. I don't know. Sometimes his bit's funny, and most of the times it's dated, and I just can't get behind it. But he is he's still a major player because of that health score as far as the class in the wars are concerned. Sneaky. So
he's like a ninja.
Yeah. At one point,
I think there's that one point where the avatars go awry. There's a glitch in it, and him and I gotta find his name. Yuji's avatars are love each other, or start.
Yeah, kissing. All the avatars are like sexy versions of the characters instead of being little chibi versions of them with armor and stuff. They're sexy versions, and then they have a boys' love scene between those two avatars. I was gonna say during one of the class wars, I want to say with 2B. They break into the classroom by using Yoshi's avatar to break through a wall, which is why I think they have stronger than human strength because I don't think Yoshi could have broken through a wall. And then as the distraction is, then through the windows comes Mussolini and the disciplinary teacher to face off against the class rep once he's distracted.
Because they needed him to start the...
No, they had it with the disciplinary teacher because the disciplinary teacher can activate any subject.
Correct. Okay, gotcha.
So they burst through the window and challenged the guy to the health thing when he's distracted. So, he can do stuff like that. So he's got some moments, but for the most part, he annoys me.
Yeah.
So far, I'm assuming every character we've talked about is one that you have.
Correct.
Okay. The next character I have, we've kind of already talked about her. This is Miharu Shimizu, the stalker, molester.
Yeah, that's all we need to say. Moving
on. Okay, next I have got Toshimitsu Kubo, the number 2 ranked character, who is impressed by Akihisa Yoshi because of a chance. They have a chance encounter where he drops his bread on the ground that he's already taken a bite out of. Yeah. And Akihisa, who is starved for calories, is like, are you going to finish that bread? And he's just like, I took a bite out of that, and he wants to eat it. This is too forward. And meanwhile, he's just thinking, if it's only on the ground for 30 seconds, that'll be fine. I can eat it.
So he gets a crush on Yoshi.
Yeah, which I think it's fun. It's the right way to do the unwanted same-sex love interest, in that it's harmless and more just...
Yoshi's a little kind of oblivious.
Yes, he's very much oblivious to it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why is this guy
pulling his pants down?
Like wanting to study with me and hang out? And well, and the okay, I just want to preface why he pulled his pants down. It's because in their war against Class A, at the end of because they have another war with Class A at the end. They're distracting all the Class A boys by pulling down. The Avatar is pulling down his pants, and so he pulls down his pants and be like, "I won't be distracted by this." And it's just like, interesting. I don't know. I love this guy. He's great.
He's great. Underappreciated glasses kid.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've talked about this character a little bit, but we have not named her. Akira Yoshi, who is Yoshi's older sister. Okay. And this is another one for jail count. This is my fourth jail count. Because she is very horny for her little brother.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, she's 23. And
I also have dibs on her.
Yes, you do. She's 23, so it's fine that you have dibs because she's an adult. She just came back from America and is like, you're not allowed. You're only allowed to live alone if you only play video games for 30 minutes a day and you don't have any illicit sexual relationships
with girls. And
she counts holding hands as being illicit sexual relationships, and so you're gonna get minus points for every time you break that rule. And like you can hopefully, if you do well in your midterms, those will give enough points that you can live alone. But Yoshi would have done well on his midterms, except all his answers were off by one because he put his first answer in the name box instead of the answer one box. So
he got a 0.
Yeah, so he's no longer allowed to live alone. So that character is here to stay. But she's just like, she keeps offering to like kiss him and
bathe together,
and it's just like
she like puts a swimsuit picture on his laptop. Be like, yeah, this is motivation.
This is I want to motivate you to do well. So here's pictures of steak and pork chops, and he's like, just pictures? Like, oh, I figured that wouldn't be enough. So here's a video of me in a swimsuit eating the steak and pork chops. And it's like, why didn't you just give me the steak and pork chops? But it's just like, come on, lady. Otherwise, I think she's fine. I thought it was funny when she correctly genders Hideyoshi Kinoshita as a boy.
Oh yeah.
And then also genders Minami and Mizuki as boys because there's no way her little brother would have friends who are girls, so they must all be boys. Which Yoshi takes the chance to say, no, all 3 of these people are girls. And Hideyoshi's like, no, she was right, I'm a boy. But then she is like, oh, do you want to see pictures of my little brother? And it's like, here's him when he's 2 in the bath, which is a picture that a lot of people have. His baby's in the bath.
In the bath.
And here he is here he is yesterday in the bath. It's just like,
how'd you get those?
It's like, lady, you should have more pictures than this.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So that's jail count of 4.
Okay.
Okay, I've got Kyoji Nemoto is next, who is like the closest thing to an antagonist that we have in this show.
I just wrote Class B rep, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I wrote fuck this guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode where he's trying to hack into the system. I think it was him.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it had his face wasn't revealed at that point.
Okay.
But I think it was supposed to be when he did the next shady thing. It was like, the shady guy is back.
Gotcha.
That caused the system to run amok that we talked about before, where the avatars were all acting weird.
Yeah.
They started by acting weird, and then they started hurting people.
Okay.
And
anyways, after that he
tricks
Class F into helping him break into the vault with the next midterm test.
Yeah, the midterm test answer sheets are in the vault, but Class F needs to get there because other things of theirs were put in the vault, and they're like
Mutsalidi's breast chart, which is like, again, why? Also,
what are you doing?
It's pretty funny. It's kind of funny you did that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then there's the love letter that Mizuki wrote for Yoshi. There are some costumes that Hideyoshi has from whatever. Mm-hmm. They need to get into the vault to get those things. Yeah. But
marriage certificate.
The marriage certificate. But he is just like, haha, you better not, we're all in this together, you better not tell me that I'm taking these midterm exams, because then you'll get in trouble too. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, dang, he got away with it. But afterwards, they take the rest of the midterm papers and they throw them over the roof so that everybody has them, so that they become useless.
Yeah, because they have.
And then they also put a basket of Mizuki's
cookies in his locker.
Cookies in his locker. And he's like, ooh, this must be from a girl, not knowing that her cooking is terrible.
That's where his.
It all looks good.
That's where his soul left his body.
Yeah. So fuck that guy. He gets his comeuppance when they go to war with Class 2B. Mm-hmm. Well, we already talked about how they beat him. That's when they came through the window.
And with them winning, they forced him to dress up as a girl.
Well,
just like where
here's what they did. They made a deal with Class 2B. Hey, we won't exchange equipment with you, because they've not been, even though they've been winning these wars, they've not been exchanging equipment
just for favors.
So that they rack up favors with these classes, and they go, okay, we'll make a deal with you guys. We won't take your equipment if Kyoji Nomoto will cross-dress and wear this girl's uniform. And the rest of the class is like, yeah, we'll make sure that happens, even though he's against it.
Also, I just want to point out, he was dating the Class C rep, and then as soon as she saw, I wrote it down too.
Yuka
Koyama. You want to get right into it? Yuka
yeah, she's not that much of a
Koyama.
character in this. She's the Class C rep. She
was dating
Kyoji Nomoto, but then was like shocked by him, which is a bad take. Like, it's okay to be a cross-dresser. And also, he didn't want to cross-dress.
I think in the manga, she like immediately breaks up with him. But in like this one, it's just like, oh, I didn't know you had that hobby. And then it's just like, yeah, their relationship didn't recover from that.
Yeah. It's just like, it's okay to cross-dress. I saw one thing. This is, I guess, a spoiler for either season 2 or some OVA or something. But they briefly rekindle their relationship until she finds that he has like a scrapbook of him cross-dressing too, and she's like, she can't handle it again. So he might actually come to enjoy cross-dressing, which is fine. That's not why we don't like that guy. But I'm kind of like, why would you, like, first of all, why would you be into this guy to begin with? He's an ass. Yeah. And second of all, why would you break up with him for being a cross-dresser? That's fine.
He looked good in that dress. He's got legs, boy.
All right, Ben. The next character. Oh, I'll go ahead and cross her off here, because that's all we really need to talk about with her. The next character I have is Kaoru Todo, which I think you have. This is the principal.
Yeah, I just wrote principal. I didn't write down the name.
Yeah, principal of the school. She has like a soft spot for Yoshi, and that she knows how to get useful things out of idiots like him. At one point they have like this scavenger hunt thing where you have to solve these questions to get the coordinates, and they win these 3 bracelets that you can activate a field to summon your avatar without having a teacher's approval. Yeah, but it doesn't work for anybody with too high powerful of an avatar. It breaks. Yeah, so everybody but Yoshi's it breaks on.
You feel like she kind of planted it so that he would have it. So
yeah, and it's I don't know. She's just sort of like mysterious, and like she's accommodating sometimes. Yeah, she's like, you did it when the system was hacked into and malfunctioning. Like, they did her a solid by getting it fixed with his avatar that could move physical things and can get in when nobody else could. But when, I mean, we're getting to the end, they lose their second war against Class A after like
a bell collapse.
Yeah, after a bell collapse,
people almost died.
And the Class 2F people heroically rescued.
Again, it's like people. Basically the end of the alternate ending of Dodgeball happened.
Yeah, where they just lost, and it's just like, oh, and like Class 2A is like, yeah, we feel kind of bad that we took advantage of that situation to win when, they were helping losing, out. Yeah. We would have lost if not for the fact that the Yuji saved Shoko from falling. And then we took out Yuji's avatar when he wasn't looking. But Class 2F is like, I mean, that's fine. You won because of your skill to not be affected by the situation around you. Like, that's important too. But they like beseech her, like, can we please have like a sort of rematch? Not necessarily a full war, but can we have a sort of rematch, even though instead of waiting 3 months to do so? Because Yoshi's whole point of trying to participate in these wars is he doesn't think Mizuki belongs in Class 2F, and he wants her to be able to retake the placement so she can get the schooling she deserves for being so smart. And Mizuki's like, no, that's fine. I like being Class 2F. But then the principal's like, okay, since both classes are agreeing, I normally still wouldn't allow this, but I do owe you for that favor. So, sure. You can have a quiz off between Akihisa Yoshi and Shoko Kirishima. So he crams a whole bunch, and then eventually that one question that she learned wrong comes back up. And he cannot remember which one it is, if it's 625 or 645, because there's some sort of like
trick to it.
Yeah, mnemonic device for remembering what it is, but you could do a different mnemonic device for the wrong thing. And because they mentioned that, he gets confused by it. So he breaks out. I didn't write this down as a character, but I did write it down at one point. Striker Sigma 5, which is his pencil that he rolls. He has each side has a different answer on it, and he rolls it to determine what he should do randomly. So he gets the question right, she gets the question wrong, and then he's like, okay, Mizuki, I would like for her to be able to retake the placement exam. And she takes it, she gets a super high score, she turns it in, and she's like, well, wait a minute, I need to change one thing. And then the teacher's like, all right, fine, and she just erases her name so that she gets a 0 on it.
Because she wants to be in Class F.
And he's oblivious to the fact that she did that on purpose. But we should go back to talking about Kaoru Todo. Because that was the whole reason. Like, he got mad at her. It's like, she's the only one taking the test. Like, you're the idiot here. That's the principal. Maybe she'll have more to do later.
Right. We're getting close to frag time. We should probably speed it up a little bit.
Well, we're running out of interesting characters. So, the last interesting character I have, maybe not the last interesting, but the last big one I have here is Soichi Nishimura, who is the disciplinary teacher. He wasn't their homeroom teacher at the beginning. That was Shin Fukuhara, who stops being their homeroom teacher and starts being the narrator of the show, which is a funny bit. So I'll go ahead and cross him off.
Okay.
But Soichi Nishimura takes over because, I mean, they're in those disciplinary classes all the time. He might as well just be the regular teacher. He's just this big, buff guy. Anytime a character dies in a war, he just will show up out of nowhere.
No matter what.
Those who died will be given a remedial class. It's very comical. I think he really, believes in Class 2F, though will not, he won't show it because his form of believing in them is putting them through the ropes of what they need. So, I don't really have anything else to say about him. Oh, yeah, his nickname was the Iron Man.
Yeah.
So far, we've had everybody together. Okay, here's one. The Aiko Kudo.
Yep, got
her. She's in Class A. She's the other health and PE specialist, though she leans more towards health, where Mussolini leans more... she leans more towards physical education, and she's on, like, the swim team and stuff. And Mussolini goes more towards health. So they're sort of, like, rivals in that regard. I think she might also sort of, like him a bit.
Yeah.
Or if it's just part of a friendly rivalry.
Get ready for all the board.
Okay. I don't know. She's got short hair, which I like.
Short green hair. Yeah, I like her.
Yeah. I know we talked hair colors last time.
There's that part where Mussolini asks Yoshi's avatar to, like, unclip her bra.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't wear a bra today.
And he's like, what? And then there's another episode where she shows up later and she's like, I wore a bra for you this time. But they can't summon the field because it's broken. Because we talk about how the bracelet broke when he got too high of a test score at the end. Yeah. And so it stopped working. And that's when the tragedy with the bell happened because his avatar wasn't there to hold it back anymore.
He got too smart.
Yeah, so that's Aika Kudo. She's cool.
I like her.
I've got Hazuki Shimada listed. That is Minami's little sister.
Yep.
Who wants to marry Yoshi, calls him Baka Oni-chan.
Stupid older brother.
Stupid big brother.
Yeah.
Something like that. She's there.
She's there. Nothing.
I've got... Now, this one is a character you may or may not have. I've got Ryo Sugawa.
I wrote that one down.
Okay. He is the leader of the FFF Inquisition, which is most of the other members of Class F that don't have names. Yeah. He didn't get a name till, like, episode 10 or something. Yeah. And it's just, there's a bunch of class members that are just, like, wearing robes, and one of them has a scythe, and then it's revealed that the guy with the scythe the whole time was this character named Ryo Sugawa.
Their whole deal is just like, no, there shouldn't be like any couples or something. Or
yeah, they're all lonely, so they will get mad at people that have attraction from females. Yeah.
So they like burn Yoshi at the stake.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
They're fun. I like them.
Yeah.
It's like, that guy's got a scythe. And that's Ryo Sugawa. I like him. Do you have any characters left? Because I've got one character left.
That is all I wrote.
Okay. So, I dug in. I dug into the trenches. And I found another named character that we've run into in this season. I don't know if their name was in this season.
Okay.
But this character has lines.
Okay.
Their name is Hiromi Nakabayashi. Do you want to cater a guess as to who that is?
I'm going to hope it's a teacher's or principal's assistant.
No, I did not write that character down. Dang. I was hoping you might have.
No, I just know I have dibs on her.
Okay. Hiromi Nakabayashi is the rep of Class 2E.
Okay.
Apparently she plays, I think, softball.
Okay. I think that comes up in season 2.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned that there's a bunch of jocks in Class 2E.
That makes sense.
Because in the last war, before the last war against Class A, they call in their favors for the other classes to have mock wars with Class 2A to wear them out ahead of time. They also do a twin switch where they have Hideyoshi dress up as his sister Yuko and impersonate her and go like badmouth Class 2C. So that they also challenge them to a war because they never fought Class 2C, and so therefore they don't have a favor racked up. But they're just like, well, let's just like get them to get mad at us, or get mad at Class A, so that they go and do it on their own. I mean, I can look up that teacher's assistant.
No, that's fine.
I didn't write down any teachers. They have named teachers. Like there's a couple of math teachers. There's a math teacher who is thirsty as hell, and they use Yoshi as bait to get her to show to the hallway so that they can have another math teacher when they
lose the other one.
So So that was fun. I don't know what I was going to try to pull up that character, but I'm like, the teachers are really not that important. Maybe that one teacher, because I think she can be combined scores is what she can do. But not really. The principal's barely an important character. The principal's aide is not that important either. Maybe she's the teacher. Maybe she's the homeroom teacher for Class 2A. I don't know. But those are all the characters. We basically covered the plot. There's an episode where Shoko and Yuji go on a date to a theme park that everybody keeps pushing them together. And they run into like this like early 20s couple that's mad that they're getting special treatment. That are like sort of punks. I like them. There's an episode where Minami makes and Mizuki make bentos for Yoshi. Mm-hmm. And that's when we learn that Mizuki is a terrible cook and Minami is okay at it. And then she's just barely able to get him to take the lunch. Gotcha. So like that episode hurt because I'm like, no, she didn't give him the lunch. And then she finally did. I'm like, yes, he gave her something.
I like the theme park episode.
Okay. That one just felt like, is this a nightmare that Yuji's having? It's just like, why are all these characters like trying to give him and Shoko a good time? Like, they're not particularly like close to Shoko. So it's just like, why are they torturing their friend? And I just thought it might have ended up being a bad dream of Yuji's, but no, it was all real. You got to see that he has some genuine feelings towards her. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I'm not mad that you're in love with me because that's being in love for that long is kind of impressive, but definitely picked the wrong guy. Yeah, he's more self-deprecating than anything else as to why he doesn't want.
Also, think he just might not think he's good enough for her.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about plot. We kind of went over everything.
Yeah. They have wars and then
they do character stuff and then they have wars again.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun with this. I want to watch season 2. We'll probably cover season 2. Gentleman 6, 7 at the best, 4 at the worst.
Yeah.
So I hope we didn't disappoint you. Was it Mega Lazy Guy?
Mm-hmm.
We covered it. We'll probably cover season 2.
We didn't do our usual thing, but there was like 20 characters, so we just thought, let's do it this way.
Yeah, the plot's not that important.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of did dibs count already, right?
Yeah, I have dibs on Minami Shimada. You have dibs on the older sister, Akira Yoshi. You have dibs on the principal's assistant.
And one other teacher. Just random teacher.
Yeah, just one other random teacher. So, we can go into... We already talked Best Girl. It's Minami Shimada. You like Shoko, as well.
I like Shoko. I also like Eiko.
Oh yeah, Eiko is
Eiko
is good.
Those are my top 3.
So let's go into All Aboard.
All aboard!
We talk about all the ships.
Mm-hmm.
We get in the ships.
All right.
The big 2 are obvious. Okay. Yoshi and Mizuki is probably the in-game ship if I know how to read writing.
The what?
If I know how to read the mood and how shows tend to go, that's probably the in-game ship, and that disappoints me because Minami Shimada is way better.
Yeah. I mean, she's Best Girl. I don't know if they're best ship, though.
I don't know. I want her to be happy.
Okay. I just think Yoshi's an idiot.
That's fine.
Nah. My ship is Yuji and Shoko.
Yuji and Shoko is a good ship. You want to put that at number 1?
Yeah, I'm putting that at number 1.
Okay.
I know you have issues with that, but I think it's towards the end it's more playful.
Yeah, towards the end it's better, but it's.
I think they generally like each other. He's just ignored. He's just like.
Yeah, he is very much down on the dumps about himself. That whole theme park episode. What we learned is the reason why he doesn't want to date her is mostly because, or at least I think it's implied that he thinks just like you fell in love with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Like I'm no good. The honorable mention, two honorable mentions would be Mussolini and Aiko.
Yeah,
I think that's just a fun one when that
that's
shows
a
up.
fun one.
And then I'm gonna go.
I got another one.
I got it here in just a second. I always forget his first name. Toshimitsu Kubo and Yoshi is a fun.
Those are my other two.
Yeah. I mean, there are other ones out there like his sister and Yoshi, and Minami's sister and Yoshi. Which is like, no, those ones are all wrong. Like those. Half of the people in that ship want to be in that ship, and the other half are like, no, you're a child, or no, you're my blood relative. And it's messed up.
What about the principal and Iron Man?
Okay. That's an out of nowhere ship, but okay.
Why
I
not?
can see it. I don't know, because they work together? What about Iron Man and the principal's assistant?
Ooh, that's hot.
That I could go for.
I mean, they work together.
Yeah,
but
one of them's
not that power dynamic.
Yeah, there's not that.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the same level. Yeah, I mean, that's all aboard. That's Dibs Check. That's Best Girl. I think we just need to plug where you can find us, unless you've got other things to say.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Yeah, so well, if you want, I'm not going to force you. You can follow us on Twitter at anime_territory. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/dementedgoku. We're on YouTube as Anime Territory. We are the Cityscape picture.
Yep.
And you can find us wherever podcasts are
found.
That's what I was looking for. As Anime Territory. So if you have other show suggestions, we are open to them. This is a show suggestion made by somebody we do not know in real life. The other suggestions we've taken were ones from people in real life. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we only covered Charlotte because Dylan was like, when are you guys covering Charlotte so I can come on? That's it.
Yeah.
You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.